we're going to tear into this and see exactly what issue I'm having with it. But before I do, I'm going to give you a quick rundown. For those of you that are new to working on fishing reels or first time you want to start, this is a mat you can get at Five Below. It's a yoga mat. I don't do yoga. But for like $5, you can get the mat, cut it to shape, whatever. What this is good for is anything little falls and hits, it doesn't just bing and go flying. So I recommend covering your whole table, your whole floor for that matter. It would have saved me some reels. But anyway, you can get dinged up. Throw that down. Then you can get these little blue shop towels, like in a roll of, like paper towels, or you can use regular paper towels if you don't have it. But I suggest putting down something around you to work on that you can see the little screws, especially if you have eyes like me, but to help you work. So anyway, this video is also just a kind of, I keep hitting that table and this thing's jumping, to show you and tell you about the upcoming things, because I'm so far behind. I had a issue with my video editor, and for when I got back into fishing this year, I went about 2 months without putting any videos out because I kept having issues with one shot. I tried and so I gave up. Now I have one called DaVinci, I believe it is. Anyway, that's the one I'm using, but I'm so far behind, and any of you make your own videos, you can understand it takes forever sometimes to edit a video. The fishing ones anyway. These sometimes, as long as I've got good internet connection, my phone's working right, they don't cut out, it's not too jumbly, and I get across my point probably quicker than if I sit and edit for 2 hours of video. So we're going to tear into this, see what's going on. We got this out on the water. If you guys watched the live stream on the unboxing it, I can't remember the exact store I bought this from, but this was ordered about almost a month after my Lingle, the Black Knight 2, and 2 other rods that are supposed to be here this week, but this showed up last week. So I got out on the water. Why not? $24 reel. Why not throw your favorite $300 reel on it and go fishing, right? So I doctored it up a little bit just to get it to match this crazy colored rod. And stay tuned. I'll have a further review of it. But overall, it's a good, solid rod, other than the cork is definitely not in great shape. But it hasn't fallen apart with two different days. Saturday and Sunday, I fished it both days off and on for maybe a total of an hour, hour and a half, couple hours. I don't know. It definitely is stronger as far as the feel than the, and also me and Charles, I put together a whole video that'll be coming out hopefully tomorrow or within a day or so. We went through all of our BFS rods, lined them up in order we feel they go in from the lightest, and to the stiffest. And this is the stiffest solid tip rod on an ultralight that I now own. If that helps you guys with, like, if you're looking for something, I don't know, but that's stiffer than like I guess I should give you guys a quick list just so you'll know. Charles, and between me and Charles, who I fish with, you guys have seen from last year, go down the strip pits. I don't even remember the count, but he has the Stream Angler. I have the 522 SUL Kying, which are very similar, but they're not solid tipped rods, but like the whole rod bends, and they're like almost softer than even the solid tipped ones as far as the overall ultralight. They're more like a super ultralight. But then you have your ultralight tips, which are more or less solid tips, other than the Lure Killer Big Trout. That is actually half and half. But then we have, he has the Volan Rock and Roll. I have the Zephyr, and is that it? Oh, the Mavlos Delicacy. That is a rod so far. Now, I haven't tested mine. I've test casted Charles. He has 3 of them. That's how much he likes them. But I have not got mine in yet to test it. But it looks like the best made one. It even looks like it's made better than the Kings, just as far as the parts, what they use to put together all of the stuff. And it comes with 2 tips, and I want to say it's only $28. So, and you've seen the reel test. He was fishing the clamber with that one. Ask if you guys wanted to see him do a review. So comment on there, tell him, yeah, you do, see what he thinks of it. But he likes the Ace Hawk, which I got one of those coming too, the CU Double, and I did not like mine. I snapped it and test flexing it right out of the box. Could have been in shipping. It could have somehow got jarred. So I ordered another one of those. But anyway, check with the real test and recommend on that last video he put out that, yeah, you want to see him do a review on that rod. But I'm already giving it a thumbs up, but I will myself and see if I want to keep it. But Charles had one, stepped on it, broke it. I don't know what happened. They were out actually on a float trip and he took it along. And I don't know if him or his wife, somebody stepped on it, smashed it. He sat down and he sat on the side of the bank and he got reception and he ordered 3 of them. That's how much he loves that rod. And they're like $28 shipped with a light and an ultralight tip. Now he likes the light tip. Charles does not like any of the ultralight tips. He kind of fishes a little heavier than what a lot of you guys, especially the little creeks and streams. Now we do when we go down there to the small creeks and streams, but anyway, the Mavlos Delicacy is one he likes. I like out all of them so far, which I've just fished his briefly, but overall just looks and feel and the way it's, I don't know, the design of it, it's kind of flashy like this, but that Volan Rock and Roll, I really like that rod. If the Black Knight 2 is real good, or I could put a purple PW on it and it would look good. But I like that rod, so when it comes in, I'm going to do a test on it and all the other stuff. Okay, here's the issue. Let's jump right to, I know, like 10 minutes later. Hang on a second. Somebody's, I don't know what I got going on. All right, I'm back. So we were out fishing, and I guess I should tell you the story. Those of you that haven't been paying attention or are new to the channel, I went out last weekend. Well, the weekend before last. This is Monday now. The weekend before this last weekend we passed, I went out and I caught my personal best bass. Not even trying. And you never know when that big giant's going to hit. But anyway, I caught it on this combo right here. Kaing Teton 661. I'm going to probably go ahead and get a 662 just so I can, since that one's not available. If this one was available, I'd be like Charles. I'd buy 2 more of these just to have them. I can't find them anywhere on AliExpress. So if, actually, Eugene, there's a few of you coming have them. If you're willing to sell yours, also message me or whatever, or comment on the end of this video or whatever. But if not, I'm going to get a couple more. Or at least I'll buy one of the 2-piece ones and we'll compare it with the singles and see if it's the same. Anyway, I'm out there fishing and I hook into a giant. Now, before that had happened, I thought I had an issue with this reel. And I thought, I'm like, was that the reel or was that me? I didn't think anything of it. The day went by and, you know, so I totally spaced it off. This last week we went out again. Saturday, we went on a craze. We caught, I would guess, 50 bass each, like little chunkers, like footballs, you know, that were put up a good fight, and the majority of them came on this combo right here. Now others came on a few other rods, but in the process, this reel started acting up on me, and I was like, well, what is going on? And I'll tell you exactly what it is. The one roller bearing that is the anti-reverse, so it's like instantly stops, it's goofing up. So I'm going to tear into it. I don't know if I can clean it or if it's just worn out. I did notice once I started looking, they sell a bunch of different roller bearings on AliExpress also. So I don't know if what's going to go on, but I'm going to tear into it. I might service the whole reel, or I might just take this apart, because that's another thing. When you guys watch me, I had the clamber apart and I had the PW100 right beside it. It wasn't this one. It was actually the newest one of mine that I ended up trading to Charles because I wanted to keep just for this kind of reason. Before I caught my personal best, I was like, I'm going to keep this one for the durability. You know, I've had it a couple years now. Whenever it first came out, 19, but this is into 21. So I don't know if it's what I would consider a 2 or 3-year-old reel. I'd have to go back and look at the exact date I bought it. But it's got a lot of use. And just in that personal best that day, and then last Saturday, this reel went a lot of fish. Probably, I don't know, a bunch of fishing, casting, reeling, back, forth, just in those couple days, not to mention the couple years before those couple days. This reel's seen a lot of stuff. Anyway, let's tear into it. You'll need, if you're going to jack with your own rod or reels, you definitely need to get some kind of small screwdriver, because there's a lot of these holes. You don't want to try to jab a full-size screwdriver. I've done it over the years. Trust me, I've scratched up so many reels, and you'll go to stick it in thinking, oh, I'll just hold it at an angle. You end up, that works just like a freaking, what do you call it, a scraper. It just scrapes the paint right off. So any of these you want to get. Now, for some reason, something's way too tight, and a lot of them also have a straight, and that's kind of why I designed this one, to cut it down to where if one's real tight, I'll push as hard as I can and turn it. But normally just a little Phillips jumps in there and will do the job. Well, maybe not right there. So have you a real good straight to break any loose, because you don't really want to mess with the big Phillips. Now, every once in a while, you'll have something that will, oh, I forgot I put that on there. I got to find that little thing. Is that it? Oh, look, it's right there. And if you get some of these aftermarket nuts and screws, you need to have some Allen wrenches laying around. So anyway, this video is not going to be about how to service a reel exactly as far as tearing it apart. And then here, everybody talks about like a fancy wrench to get the nut off. You can get this one, that one. I go to one of my buddies, and that's where all their 10 millimeters end up going. I just steal one of their. I put it in a piece of plastic like this, and as the plastic wears, you'll want to move it around, but you just put it over like that, turn that nut. Now, this nut's not big a deal, but if you have like any of those anodized aluminum ones, you blow on those too hard and the anodizing flakes off. But anyway, that's a way to protect that from having issues. And then just try to set everything off to the side as it comes out, like in a line, in an order. Remember that, like on your handle, some of them will have a little spacer on the outside. That's an Abu Garcia handle, by the way. Fits right on. And then this spacer to help kind of holds the drag star, because this is a spring-loaded one. I think this one's actually off of a Daiwa. I think I switched it out. I think that's one of Daiwa's cheap plastic ones, not the Zion. So put it like that, a little spring. And I know how they go. I'm just kind of. Nobody's coming. So somebody's watching. And I don't really make these just so I can, I want everybody to watch right when I'm doing it. Like I mentioned, I just do it to get it in there in case somebody does want to watch. They can watch it now, later, or whatever. So yeah, this one had a spacer. That's not one of those bent washers or nothing to tighten the drag. That's just a spacer. I don't know why that's there, but a lot of times you won't have spacers there. Now here you'll have one or two. Usually you should have two. But here's the one you got to look for. This little guy right here. Sometimes it sticks to whatever's there, but you should always have this thinner. See how this is way thicker? Like if you got these mixed up, you don't put this on this end, because you want the like this one. This reel doesn't have. You could put a bearing there. There's actually, it leaves room to have another bearing, just to make it a little more stable when you're reeling. But if you have a bearing there and you put too big a washer and it rubs on both races, inside and outside, it can cause some issues. So it should be a thin washer right here on this end piece, which it was there. So here I'll show you guys real quick, and because my casting came messed up. If you get these all jumbled up and mixed up and you're like, oh no, what did I do? These all have a bend in them. You should be able to look at them and tell that they have a bend. Now, it honestly does not matter, and I've seen some reels come both ways, but you put them opposite each other. You do not want them to go flat. You want a gap, either like that. So I got the bends basically towards each other where there's a gap in the middle, or you can flip them. This, in a sense, is a spring. It basically, you're turning that springy. So when you tighten your star, That's what applies the pressure. My Cast King came with both of them like this. Now, I don't know. That would probably still work, but that's not what they're designed to do. I mean, every reel I've ever had, or if you watch somebody tell you about them, is other ways. Now, me, myself, I like them like this. I like the outside, the top and bottom edges pushing against each other, and I want that inner part to be pushing on this washer. And I think that's how you're supposed to do it. Pushing on that washer and then whatever's on the other side, whether it be a washer or whether it be this for the drag clicker. And they said it in the drag clicker. So actually, no, you want them like something like that. Like on this one, it probably really don't matter since it had a washer there. Anyway, I like them cupped like that with the hole in the center. As long as you do switch them, you know, one way or the other, it's fine. Okay, let's tear into this. Well, let me take the spool out first. This is, I don't think I've had this thing apart since I put the drag clicker in. So we'll look at that. I don't even remember. It's been so long, a couple years. I don't remember what exact drag clicker. I'm sure it was one that was intended for a Daiwa. I'm not sure if I glued it like I showed you guys. I built one for the Cast King. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. We used an old Daiwa drag clicker for the Cast King. So yeah, that's kind of looking black in there. Maybe time to do a total service on this reel. So you've seen the 2 screws there, but it should have a few in here somewhere. Looks like we got 2. Sometimes I'll hide one up in here. You got to watch. Just depends on the reel. And sometimes back in here. This reel does not have that, I don't think. I think it's just got 2 here and then 2 here. So kind of 2 up high over here and 2 down low there, and it holds it all together. I like reels that are designed, a lot of them aren't, that they use the same size screws, at least on like in length, but some of them you got to pay attention to where they go. Like this one could be a shorter one. Now see, those 2 are the same. So either one of those, we'll go back there. Let's see. Yeah, I think this one's a short one. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, so see the short one, remember, short goes on top in case you're tearing yours apart. I guess it don't matter. Let's see. Yeah, so those are the same too. So you just have the short ones go on the outside and the long ones go on the inside. That's simple enough to remember. And I missed something. Did I? No, I didn't. Did I? Nope. All right, so, oh, that's a clicker I made. Yeah, look at, I made that clicker. It's worked. Still works, actually, and it didn't give out. This did. So here's the culprit, this thing right here. It goes one way, and it should, instant anti-reverse means it should not even budge the other way. And I'm not sure what issue I was having. I mean, it's a possibility the whole thing in there could be jacked up. So I got to tear into that and find out. But I'm curious first, and you guys can look. Oh, that'll pop out. Can you guys see in there? Oh, it's not that light, is it? Trying to hold this where you guys could see. If you think it looks, I think it looks pretty dirty in there. I need to. I think it's just, that's what Charles like, that's just dirty, clean it out. So I need to see if I can, I don't know. I do not like messing with these. One time before I tried to do something with one, I totally destroyed it. It was game over. There was no coming back. So, oh, here's a good shot. That, yeah, it's, I guess this is what probably wears. It starts getting. I think I'm just going to clean it, put it back together, and use it. Oh, because I forgot to mention, Saturday, tore them up. It started jacking up. I didn't have time to, I came home Saturday night, basically just recharged everything, got the SD cards cleared off to go out fishing again Sunday. So I went to bed late, got up kind of early again, went right back, and I'm gonna fish it again. So I fished it Sunday for a long time. Never once did it do it. It act like it cleared itself up. So I'm not 100% sure. I guess I'll stick with what Charles said. It's probably just dirty. Let's take a look. That is, now I'm not terribly abusive on my stuff. I use it, work it pretty good. I think every one of my reels have been dunked completely underwater just way back when I was doing like a little test thing. I don't remember if I own this one yet or not. And I don't want to take time to tear apart one of my newer reels so you guys can compare them. But just looking at this, it actually looks fine. The gears, I mean, it looks like it's ready to go. I don't know, what's that gunk of grease? Oh, that didn't look right. You guys see that big black gob or whatever? I don't know what that is. Maybe I should tear into this more, but I'm going to take apart. I think I put out a video showing you guys how to make this. All you need is a Dremel tool. You can work wonders with the Dremel tool. I can't get my big hands down in there. The thing about when you're tearing into a reel, clean hands, don't get any gunk in there unless you plan on taking that reel completely apart, cleaning it. There's several different ways to clean it, but I'm trying to see what is going on in here. So yeah, I basically just took discs that I had and I made this clicker that won't come off. Why is that so nasty looking? Yeah, this is nasty. So I probably won't also, I'm not gonna keep you guys here through the whole process, but I'm gonna tear into it a little bit because this will take a while. Okay, so on this reel, I guess all I had to do was, let's take this off. It's gonna have the stuff stuck underneath of it. So yeah, I guess all I had to do, there's not much of a drag stack there, just that one under the main gear, the one in the middle between the clickers, and that's it. No wonder I'm always saying this drag's loose. This is a very soft drag, which is fine for BFS stuff. I don't know why it's so greasy right there. I didn't do that. Look how that drag has worn it. I know that wasn't like that when I put it together, so it's, which drags are basically almost like brakes on your car. You know what I mean? Your pressure and it's turning and slowing it down, or so evidently. Let's check this side. So yeah, they're both, it's kind of sliding between them both, if you can see where it's been. This has been sliding when the drag does go. But yeah, I think those are not parts out of the PW. I think these are old parts out of Daiwa that I had put a drag clicker in years back. And you take these out and you put in the drag clicker. So I basically just designed. I just copied that design and cut it down. And this drag clicker I thought sounds pretty good. And all I did was take the the one that's got the round part with the 4 tabs. I just basically cut into it, bent one of those up so you got the part that moves. I took the one that goes onto the handle part to the shaft, and I cut all that little ribs into it. So then when you're trying to turn and the spool, it goes like that, and the drag goes. So that's the only thing I had to pay attention to, is know which way that turn. You don't want to go that way because that's going to chew everything up. Even if it clicks for a little bit, it's going to finally catch and rip stuff apart and be bad. So it should, when it slips, it should slip like this. Because you're trying to turn this way with the handle, and the way the gearing is, as the spool goes out, this turns the opposite way. So that was a simple make that I made to put a drag clicker in, because I may have to be making some more drag clickers. I got other reels coming that don't, as far as I know, don't. The blue Spirit Fox, the older Cast King that's left-handed, that I'm not sure if that, he did never really mention if he had the newer version with the clicker, because that's the only reel I know of. You can order both ways right at this moment, or I spotted it, you could. So anyway, I'm probably going to get out, I don't know if I'm going to do a complete teardown, but I'll get out the simple green. And I don't know, should I see if this, that does just pop out, right? Right? Doesn't it? Yeah, I just barely pushed on it and it pops out. Yeah, there's no way it could have been turning in there. The thick housing has held up. It's not spinning inside or anything, because it wasn't making noise. It just like free spin. It just go into a free spin mode, and really, as long as you would let it until you stop, and then you turn it the other way, because it always happened like right when I had a fish on. I'm like, oh, but then it would catch, and then it would be fine. But it would just do it every once in a while. Let's see if you guys can see in there now. So yeah, I guess it just needs, like you would clean this like you would a normal bearing, except you do have this plastic. I'm not going to anyway put any kind of, I wouldn't use, I'm guessing you could use, and you guys comment below if you know what you would recommend. I'm going to use Simple Green. Simple Green, I've never had it truly eat up anything. But I have, like, what I use to clean stuff would be acetone, brake clean. Acetone would chew this to pieces, I'm sure. Maybe not. Like my plastic wheels on my RC cars, it doesn't seem to hurt. It's just real, like, I don't know, the fumes of glue and gunk. But just like rub it, alcohol. I am just going to use Simple Green. Simple Green works pretty freaking good. I think I'm just going to go outside and I'll hold it away and I'll spray it real good. I may soak it overnight. I don't know what I'm going to do. But I think it's just gotten old and dirty enough that the catch is just off. Uh-oh, which way did this go? Let's go out here. Oh boy, you guys didn't pay attention when I took it out, did you? Don't worry, we'll figure it out. This can only go one way, because if you put it in backwards, you won't be able to crank the handle. You'll go to crank. So that's got to go in like that, and that piece stays out. So like this. Goes right back in like that. This into the side plate. That little lip sticks out because when you put that in, you turn like that. When I try to go backwards, it catches. But this thing, I think that goes to the outside. It's got the little teeth that catch it. I don't think it actually matters. But I think you want that out there catching further out on the handle. And I don't know. I guess it doesn't go all the way just for weight purposes. You can have it hollowed all the way out until you get towards the end. Anyway, somebody commented. Hang on a second. Yeah, the only issue with that, thumbing the spool, because I'm bad about doing it, and I don't even try to do it. Sometimes I put my thumb on that spool, like setting the hook, and that is not really good to do. Just for the fact that, especially with this BFS stuff, depending on your line, the shape your line's in, like every once in a while, if I feel the fish is running hard at me and I don't want the drag, like I need to yank and get every little ounce of yank in the fish because I feel he's running at the boat kind of thing, I'll I'm bad about putting my finger on that spool and yanking hard, especially with my like heavier stuff. You know, when I'm fishing 15-pound chatterbaits, I'm known to. But I've snapped the line off by that too, and who knows what I had on the other end. So I try to keep my thumb, my personal preference, keep my thumb completely off the spool, have the drag set as tight as you possibly can without either snapping the rod or the line if fish was very close. That's how I like to have mine. So I think I'm going to go ahead and clean the gears, nano reverse bearings. I don't think I'm going to do a total teardown. We'll just see how much longer it lasts. And it didn't need the gears. I'm just going to do it since I've had my hands on it. I'll go ahead and just clean these two simple green while I'm cleaning, get whatever. I don't know why I had so much grease on there. I'm sure I do like to have these. I think I run them wet. I don't really have them coated, but I like put some grease on them just by hand before I put them back in, because I don't know, I feel it just helps them. The initial startup is faster when they're wet as opposed to dry. I'm afraid dry could stick more, but it's probably honestly the other way around. But I've just always liked to have a little bit of grease on these. And it's probably from using some of the older rubber and other ones, because they would like stick. And believe it or not, I've had reels I've bought used that people literally glued the drag. So it was like just a direct dry. There was no drag. I had a Tatula. I think I might have ended up selling it to Matt. But I mean, I took it apart. I dismantled it, got the glue pulled. It's actually pretty easy to pull apart because these are so smooth. Super glue does not actually stick that good to it. So it didn't take long to get it pulled apart. The hard part is, I think it was the actual carbon disc too, but I got it straightened out where it had a drag again anyway, and we got it back together. All right, guys, I think I'm going to end this here because I'm going to have to be away from the camera for a lot of this other stuff, going to get simple green and figuring out where and how exactly, if I want to soak it overnight or what I want to do. So stay tuned, and you guys will know soon enough. I'm going to get it all cleaned up, put back together, and it was looking nasty. I do need to, this is the main thing. I may go ahead and take that apart. These get pretty dirty. So, yeah. Your level wind, all that whole mechanism is out into where it can get totally jacked and dirty and nasty. Yeah, this one, you guys probably cannot see, but it looks pretty nasty. Yeah, I'm going to do a total teardown, so that sucks. Anyway, I would thank everybody for watching, if you're watching it now or if you're watching it a year from now. Stay tuned. We're gonna get back out. We're coming to that fine line. That's why I've got all these rods ordered, mainly just to give me something to do over the winter, to, you know, have something to mess with. And I'm gonna go through a whole process of getting those set up and kind of being able to test them and give I guess, my version of what I feel, if the ratings, you know, what they say they'll do. Some stuff on the AliExpress don't even say what it does. You just get it and you hope for the best. But I'm tempted to, and you guys comment below, I'm tempted to try to get, because other than a couple spots, the cork doesn't look, it just looks old. It looks like it's on a 10-year-old rod and it came like that new. But I'm tempted to try to get my own filler material, because I've never tried that myself. I've heard of people doing it, and you see a lot of rods, they'll come with filler on them because the cork, for, you know, they'll just get batches of cork, they use it, but they put filler in it, and a lot of your cheaper rods are like that, even here in the States, out wherever. So I thought about just trying it out, just so I'll know if it does work or not, you know, put some kind of filler on it. If it looks all right, slap some U40 cork sealer, which I have around here somewhere, on it, and then it'll last. Or I'm also tempted, if I actually like the rod, just to take this totally off and put one of these solid, you know, full-length handle on it that actually starts out with what looks right out of the box. You know, I haven't peeled it off, but looks to be a better quality cork in the first place. Go with the straight handle, because I like to have my whole hand when I'm casting. This one is there's almost not enough there to get a good solid feel when you're casting. It feels like you're going to lose the, rod. But anyway, a lot of stuff coming up this winter. I was going to say is we only have like maybe a couple week window weekends of fishing of decent weather. There may be a couple days that it'll warm up into the, say, high 50s, low 60s, but we're into the fall towards the end of October. So yeah, around here, we're lucky we've got the weather we have right now, and it's looking like this weekend I'm gonna try to get out, but who knows what next weekend and next weekend will be, because then we're going to be into November, and November is always, you never know for sure. A lot of times you're just indoors looking outside going, I wonder if those fish are thinking about me. Anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to Bass and Bonsai. Watch the reel test. Obi-Wan Kenobi. I was calling him Obi-Wan Kenobi. Same difference. And Jimmy on RAR. And there's a few others. And who I feel, as far as who can learn the most fishing right now, other than, than the pros, of course, if you're watching Van Dam or Wheeler or whoever. But if you guys have never seen Tactical Bassin', watch them. Now, yeah, I'm not a big swim bait guy. We're talking about BFS type stuff right now, but those guys at Tactical Bassin', they definitely know how to catch fish. And they put on good, have good information out all the time. And Fluke Master, Gene Jensen, I don't know how many years he's been on YouTube now. I'm pretty sure I started watching him from the beginning when he had that boat with the chewed up seat and all that kind of stuff. But that guy is definitely, he knows how to fish too. If you guys are familiar with that show, I don't know how good of friends, but he's friends with Mark Zona. He's been on his show a few different times, and Gene Jensen knows how to catch some fish. And who else am I forgetting while I'm just rambling off people? The fishermen, anyway, that I watch on YouTube. There was another one. I can't remember who it was, but there's several of them out there. There's also several fishing things that are not that great. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you later.